Hello and welcome again to From the Desk of. I'm Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Randolph County School System. I'm here for our monthly interview with our superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey, and we are here this month at beautiful Wheatmore High School. So Dr. Gainey, before we get into an update of all the things that are going on in all of our schools, tell us a little bit about Wheatmore.
Well, Tim, it is a beautiful facility, and the layout of this building is just almost perfect between the classroom instructional areas and the different, the gym right here. The media center is gorgeous. The outside areas of the building are, just almost perfectly placed around the building. Easy access to different areas outside the building that are used for different types of activities, whether it be our agriculture classes or our athletic events. So just real good design. This building was opened in the fall of 2009. And it seems everything I've observed in the 4 years I've been here and learned about during the years before I arrived, it's been a successful run at this school and this campus with this student body and community from day one. So always fun to come to this campus and just see, anytime you build a new school, it has some different things that maybe your older schools may not have, but I've always said our 31 schools they're all pretty to me, and they all have their own character, and this school now is gradually building its own character as years are beginning to pass, and we've had it open for a while.
Right. And those in our community, if you've been following our monthly interviews, you know that we've been getting out into different schools over the past few months, but here we are in the summertime. It's June 21st today, and it's a little bit different because we're here in a school and there are no students around. But we are grateful to Eric Johnson and his staff for allowing us to come out and be here this morning. So Dr. Gainey, getting into some of the news that's going on in our school district, in our last interview, one of the things that you mentioned is it seems like every day now when you pick up the local newspaper, the Courier Tribune, you see some good news about the Randolph County School System. So as timing would have it, I have a copy of today's paper and two major stories on the front page. Great news. I'm going to give you an opportunity to share these with our community.
Well, Tim, I'm on the Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors. I'm a member, and I enjoy that because I learn a lot about the community. And so yesterday, and developments in the community, and yesterday I went to the annual meeting, and it was a breakfast meeting, and I'm sitting there, and they give a Partner in Progress award every year. And as I'm sitting there, when they go to talk about that award at the very end, Kevin Franklin, who's on the staff with Economic Development Corporation, gets up and he starts talking about the pathways to prosperity and different things. And the more he talks, the more I realize he's describing a partnership that we're in with Asheboro City Schools and Randolph Community College. And so the three of us we all were recognized yesterday, and we all received that award, the Partner in Progress Award. And it's I was looking at the history of that award, and we're in some, the group of individuals and organizations that have won that award in the past just makes me proud that we're a part of that. But even more exciting was, we don't just exist in the education arena, school system. No, we have to interact with the business community and the larger community, and just exciting for our school system to be recognized, and it speaks volumes to the great work of a lot of individuals in our school system. I sent an email to somebody last night who had sent me one about the award, and I said, we are getting better, and everybody is involved in helping us get better. And yesterday, that award is really speaks a lot to where we are today as a school system. So I was excited about that, and that was Tuesday morning. So Monday night, I leave the county courthouse as the county commissioners approved our budget for the year, and it has been, it has been a thrill to work with them, to watch our board and the county commissioners interact. It has been an absolute thrill of mine the last 4 years, and they approved our budget, and I enjoy interacting with them. I enjoy talking to them about our needs and what they can do. We may ask this, and how much of our requests can they do, and different conversations happen over the years. But I hope we're really building that relationship that's positive. I feel like we are, and it's based on trust and transparency. And we got another shot in the arm the other night. I mean, at the end of the day, counting their work on February 6th, where they fully funded the Uwharrie School project, which is now Uwharrie Ridge 612. They funded that on February 6th. They've put $410,000 forward to help us with that. So at the end of the day, on Monday night, we walk out of the courthouse. They have increased our current expense funding for next year by $819,000 and our capital outlay funding by $700,000. Now, one of the things in that capital outlay funding, which I'm very proud to be standing in this community to say today, is back in March, it became very clear. We're building the middle school up here that's going to be right near Trinity High School. And part of that $700,000 in capital outlay money, there's $500,000 set aside for the early plans of what we need to do to get that project going. So, it was never up for debate in my mind that we were going to build it based on conversations. But the other night, that $500,000 being set aside for our school to be the early plans and the early actions needed to make that a reality, that's a big statement by our county commissioners. But, I went back to my office Monday night, and I don't know anything else to say but thank you. And it's not thank you for money and funding. It's bigger than that to me. It's thank you for a relationship that's building in our community and the relationship of whatever we can do to help you as county commissioners, we're going to do. And you've got board members having conversations with commissioners and sharing the needs of what our school system is. And that it's bigger than just the funding to me. It really is, because if we're going to keep getting better, it can't be based solely on funding. It's got to be based on relationships, and those relationships being cultivated over time in a positive manner based on trust and transparency. We have got to be transparent with them. We have got to trust them, and we have got to earn their trust, and they have got to feel that we are being transparent. And so, wow, that was less than 24 hours. And one of our previous videos, I talked about what had happened from February 6th to April 6th, 3 big events. And so we've had a pretty good run the last starting with February 6th till June 20th. We've had a pretty good run in the school system. That's not even counting all the great work's been going on in classrooms and schools with principals and teachers and support staff, and then central service staff providing support. So it's been a good run the last couple of months.
It has been. And Dr. Gainey, this is our first interview since our high school graduations. Again, we're here at Wheatmore High School, and that was one of our 6 traditional high schools that observed their graduation ceremony back on June the 9th. Of course, our early college did theirs back on May 18th. I know you had an opportunity to be at 2 graduation services, so just tell us a little bit about that night.
Well, I actually went to 3, Tim.
Okay.
I always get to go to the early college because it's in May. It was on May 18th. But working my way around the school system, I'm down to only one I have not been to yet, and that's Southwest Randolph High School. And so that's obviously going to be on my list for next year because everybody graduates about the same time. We do have a couple of schools that have paired up, like Eastern and Providence Grove, one's at 6, one's at 8. Wheatmore and Trinity go 6 and 8. So you can kind of get to 2 of those if you pick that pairing. You can get 2 in a year. So I had to see Eastern's graduation. And then I left and went over to Providence Grove, and great night. Just again, you sit there on the stage and you watch these kids, and you think about what the future of our county, the future of our state, and the future of our country holds with these kids stepping into adult leadership positions. You watch principals talk to students. You watch those relationships, and it's just, and staff members. There was Providence Grove, a staff member was selected to be the speaker at the graduation ceremony, and you could just see the kids just wanting to hear what that teacher had to say. And then I watched the principal at Eastern, when he was talking to the students, and just, you can feel that relationship between the kids and the staff, and it's just a great time to watch and witness. And thank you to the communities that are continuing to support these schools. I mean, both graduations I went to had large crowds, and it's not just parents. I mean, the parents are coming, but there's a lot of other individuals coming from communities to see children at their graduation and to provide support and show their support for them. So just great night all the way around. And as I said at the board meeting on the 19th, which was Monday night, I said, by the time I went to bed on the 9th of June, I'd had reports from all over the county about our graduations, and everything I got back was positive on what had happened at the different schools. So just really proud of our high school principals and their assistant principals and their staff who done a lot of great work to make those events go so smoothly.
And now here we are in the middle of our summer break, and that certainly doesn't mean there's not a lot going on, because there is. And it's not out of the ordinary during the summer, as you would expect, to have some transition with staff positions. And I know we've had some administrative transfers. Might be nice to update our community on what's happening there.
Well, we do have 4 veteran principals who are going to be in different schools next year. Debbie Sharon's going to Franklinville Elementary School next year. Brian Hodgen will be at Archdale Trinity Middle School next year. Sharon Wallace will be the principal at New Market Elementary School next year. And then Ross Reeves is going to go from Farmer Elementary School to Grace Chapel Elementary School. All 4 of them are veterans. All 4 of them have very strong track records as being effective principals. You can look at what's happened at every school they've been at, and just very excited to see the next steps in their career as they take on these new challenges. Very proud of all 4 of them, and very proud of all our principals. Being a principal is not an easy task, and it takes a certain person to be able to do that job. And so my hat's off to them. No 2 days as a principal are the same. And just so really want to say thank you to all of our principals for the great work this year, but also want to congratulate those 4 on new stages, or moving to new steps in their career as they go to new schools, because I know they will do great jobs at those 4 schools.
Okay, again, so we're in the middle of summer and a transitional time, but also a lot going on. So could you update us on what are the types of things that need to happen when you're turning the corner on one school year and you're moving in to another? What are some of the things that happen during the summer months to make that transition?
Well, Tim, really we started turning that corner back in late January, early February. I've always thought, even when I was a principal, that there's a lot of overlap in that second semester between the current school year you're in and starting to look to the next school years. That's why it's so important that you have you have strong principals in principal seats, strong assistant principals, strong teachers and support staff, because you're running, as some staff is now beginning to look at other things for the next school year, you got to make sure you're finishing strong. And I feel very good about our staff members who are in these roles. But, case in point, we talked about the 17-18 budget for the first time January 17th with the county commissioners. That may seem early to some people, but that's kind of right along that time schedule. But so where are we now? We've closed the school year out with the end of year assemblies and all the testing. We've got a little bit of some summer programs going on that will have some testing going on with that. We've had as I mentioned, the graduations and all that, but then where are we? We're beginning to close out budgets, and the 17-18 fiscal year budgets, we're looking at those. The state, we're waiting on all the information from the state budget. As of June 21st, which is today, the state has come to an agreement, the legislature has on the state budget, but now there's still a couple of things that have to happen before we start getting the allotments and the resources as far as being posted, what all it entails. But we're working on some vacancies. Obviously, I mentioned there were 4 principals. So right now we have 3 principal vacancies that we're working on that we work through as far as filling those. So the summer has a lot of different things going on. Principals are working on vacancies at their school sites. So HR is working on processing new hires, working on facility issues right now. Marty Trotter's group is, this is a big time when people aren't on the campuses as much. We've got limited staff here during the summer. That's a big time to do some projects you can't do when the students are in class. So transportation's planning out routes and all for the upcoming school year. So it's a busy time, but I still go back and say it starts a lot earlier than once school's out. It starts cranking up. If you're going to be effective as a school system and continue to make the adjustments you need, you can't wait till June to start.
Okay, so Dr. Gainey, although schools are out, and in the mindset of, I guess, teachers and students, the school year ended on June 9th. But technically the school year does end on the school calendar until June 30th. So this will be our last interview for this school year. seems like an appropriate time just to look back on the 2016-2017 school year, talk about the school year, talk about some highlights.
Well, Tim, there's no mystery that budgets have been tough for a while, probably back as far as the spring of '09 when things got tough for statewide and for local budgets with school systems. Because remember, we get most of our money is state money, but we do depend heavily on our commissioners' help, and they've been very helpful there and done everything I believe they could to help us with what's going on with resources and availability of resources, knowing they have a lot of other groups they have to provide resources to as well. So very appreciative of what they've done. But when I look back at this year and think about just where we've been economically as a county and as a state, I still get this great sense of pride that we're not stopping and just saying, well, we can't do any more because of the situation we're in economically. Things that stand out to me are, what did our school system do when we had a middle school that was 300 under capacity? Well, we started dreaming, and we saw what could we do there, creative, another option of school choice. We already had the early college. It was almost 10 years later, and we'd not put another school choice option on the table. And a group of staff members brings us an idea, and it's called Uwharrie Ridge 612. And we're getting ready to use those available 300 seats and do some special learning opportunities for children, from a one-to-one technology initiative to 3 schools of study, public service, technology and design, leadership and communication. I mean, that's just exciting to me. That's staff really getting after it and saying, we're in this for kids. And we've got to take every resource we get our hands on and do the very best we can. Then, as we're sitting there, we have another group that goes and dreams up, what can we do as we work at another school. We're at Southeast Randolph Middle, and they come with the idea of summer camp, which is going on right now. We have 2 4-day summer camp weeks, and it's 2 different groups. So this week's one group, and then next week, the last week in June, will be the other summer camp week. And some activities are, there's an ag day, there's a business day, there's community involvement activities. So you step back from that and you say, whoa, we're in some tough times, but we still got staff members that are still they're really digging and looking at what's going on with children and what are their interests. And then you go and you look at the College Career Promise numbers that just continue to rise, where we have children taking college level classes at the community college, tuition free, and they're taking advantage of it. Our numbers are just growing like crazy there. We have principals being so flexible that they're bringing in, and I've been a high school principal, and I know how hard that is when you start having to do some things different with your schedule, but it's for the good of kids. And so I just applaud our high school principals for letting those instructors come onto campus, even though it may mean a 3-day-a-week course instead of your traditional 5-day-a-week course for high school students. So those kind of things excite me. Then I go in these elementary classrooms, and I see these veterans, these stars, and then I see early year teachers that are stars, and nobody's saying, I know it all, and I'm done learning, and I'm done trying new things. The things going on in elementary classrooms right now focused around foundational skill building, reading, and helping children to become better readers, and just helping them learn as much as they can, learn to apply the information. It's just unbelievable. And that's carrying right over to the middle schools. We have middle school principals who are just continuing to engage in how can we relate what they're learning to their futures. And they're building that. Our high schools are continuing to get better. All of our schools are getting better. And I believe there's some momentum really building in our middle schools now that is really speaking well for what's happening at the high school level with our kids. So, I see things all over this county, and it's exciting to me because with what's going on economically in this state, you could make a case for standing still and just hanging on. But I don't see that with any of our employees. I think we have employees who are motivated to do the best they can for kids every day. And that best they can for kids every day is looking for new ideas and new ways to meet their interests. Because, we've got kids now that have different interests than the kids we had 4 years ago. So I've been here 4 years now, and I see interests have changed among the student bodies in these 31 schools. So things like that change so quickly, and it can change in a matter of a 2-year window, a 3-year window, a 4-year window. You don't have to say, well, we're not going to do anything different for 10 years. And that's, so I'm excited. I really I can't say enough. I mean, our board has been behind us. They've worked hard to build relationships in the community. Got a great foundation for our school system from years back, and years of great board members. And there we have our county commissioners are really stepping up and saying, we're going to do whatever we possibly can to help you. And in my heart, I've seen it now for 4 years, and in my heart, I truly trust that they have done everything they can to help us resource-wise, and that's going to play well for our school system moving in the future.
Well, Dr. Gainey, thank you. Great wrap-up for the 2016-2017 school year. Again, we're closing out one school year, and next month, when we get in front of our community, we'll be in a new school year, and so that's exciting. We thank Randolph Communications again for allowing us to do these interviews each month, and we're grateful to Whitmore High School again for allowing us to come in onto their fine campus and do this interview. So it's been a great year. We look forward to a new school year, and we will see all of you in July.